Some developments on stimulus, even though Trump is in Walter Reed Medical Center with coronavirus. He tweeted this morning. He said, "Our great USA wants and needs stimulus. Work together and get it done. Thank you." So encouraging news there. But part of the problem has been from the very beginning is that Trump does not define the terms of what a stimulus must look like. He kind of leaves it up to Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin and the Senate Republicans to kind of hash out whatever BS that they want with their fiscal austerity and elsewhere. And eventually nothing ends up getting done. At the same time, you basically have Pelosi very content to let the country burn in order to try and play hardball. But at the end of the day, I don't think she wants a deal in her heart. The only time that we have seen any movement whatsoever, this was over the weekend. Let's throw this up here on the screen. Pelosi has signaled an openness to passing a standalone bill which would fund airline workers, would prevent airline workers from being laid off. Remember here that we've got furloughs in the tens of thousands announced by American and United and some of the other airlines there at the tune of like 33,000 workers in some particular cases. That's the first indications yet that we've seen in terms of standalone bills. But I have to believe that might be the only one, just because of the tremendous political pressure and the very specific nature of that program itself, which is a bad thing if you're not an airline worker like millions and millions of others.
Yeah, no, they got that special customer. This is the bill that everyone should have gotten, basically backstopping payroll, keeping you attached to your job. They actually, in the airline industry, got the bill written that way specifically so that the money that was appropriated went straight into guaranteeing those workers' paychecks. But that expired at the end of September. And so they moved forward with these furloughs. Pelosi saying she wants to roll that back, but we'll see. There's no deal right now in the offing. You know, some of the negotiations, we can throw H1C up here, that were going on. There is some signaling from Mnuchin that, you know, they are incentivized to get a deal done and that they're eager to get a deal. However, he and Pelosi are still haggling over state and local funding and enhanced unemployment insurance. Those are the same issues that they've been haggling over for months. Pelosi wants a $2 trillion package. The White House has indicated a $1 trillion package. Honestly, the move from the White House should be, they should just say yes to the Democrats' offer, because I think you're absolutely right. Pelosi doesn't want to get a deal done. She thinks that this is good for Democrats politically. She's probably right, frankly, and you may find that morally unconscionable. I do, certainly. But I think what the White House should do, if they were smart politically, they would just say yes to the $2 trillion and put pressure on Republicans to get it through. They're ultimately not going to do that, which is why I'm still skeptical that they're going to get anything done. And oh, by the way, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who reportedly is the person who is like holed up with Trump at Walter Reed, and so is most in his ear, and we know that matters a lot, who is most in the president's ear at this time. He's always been like a Tea Party kind of guy. He's very ideologically opposed to spending. And so he said this morning that he wants potentially stimulus relief to be piecemeal, this according to Jeff Stein over Washington Post. That's an approach that Democrats have rejected for months. And then he also stressed the importance of moving forward in a fiscally responsible manner. So, Saagar, that doesn't sound too great either.
If they were smart, they would back the bill 100% and force the Senate Republicans to vote against it. Every one of these idiots in the middle of the worst economic crisis and days before an election, if they want to vote against multi-trillion-dollar stimulus, go for it. Seriously. See how that works out for you at the ballot box. And you can already see this. Look what happened. Chuck Schumer had that procedural vote on the Affordable Care Act, making senators decide whether they stood with or against the administration on the suit against the Affordable Care Act. 5 Republicans had to break ranks and go and vote with the Democrats. McSally, Tom Tillis, Joni Ernst, all these people who are in tight Senate races. Put them on the block. Make them do it. They're all going to vote for it.
Absolutely.
Every single one of them.
They're not going to defy the president and tell the American people, like, sorry, we're not going to help you. I don't think that they would ultimately have the guts or the stomach for that. And just one more indication of the depths of the crisis that we're still in. Regal Cinemas is announcing that they are suspending operations at all U.S. locations. I mean, they reopened basically in August. And, of course, you know, attendance is way down because people people still are worried about getting sick. So this just shows you that even when businesses can technically reopen, this isn't about just like removing the government red tape and letting the American economy flourish. No, you have to get the pandemic under control, and you have to provide the economic resources to Americans to get through this time until we do have the pandemic under control and they can go back out to normal lives safely.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, that's just one more. You got Free Regal, they're going to go down. 33,000 airline workers, maybe they'll be sold. But what about the Disney? 29,000 there. I mean, it starts to add up. Goldman Sachs, 10,000. Permanent job loss is increasing across the country. That chart that we showed you a couple months back about accelerating permanent job loss continues to be bad. A steady 800K jobs shed per week. This is insanity, and we shouldn't pretend otherwise. And the White House, their greatest failure here is not tying Trump's personal political dynamism to stimulus, and Trump himself whipping votes as hard as he can. He could win the election if he did that. If he did that, even now, after all this BS, if he went all in on some massive stimulus, I actually think he could win the election. But at this point,
I think it's too late for him personally, but he should still do it because it'd be the right thing to do. All right, we'll have more Rising for you after this.